Caiden Cowger. Somebody had to say it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome to the Caiden Cowger program, broadcasting from West Virginia. It is great to have you with us. So liberals cannot stand the idea of Donald Trump becoming the next president of the United States. They are running to and from their safe spaces. They don't know what to do. They're going absolutely bonkers. It is the best thing that I've ever seen happen to this nation in a long time. I mean, literally, they have absolutely no idea how to handle this. They are literally protesting Trump becoming president. I don't know what they are. Well, I know what they're hoping to happen. They're hoping that somehow they will influence, I guess, people to, what they've been doing. They've been trying to get electors, number one, to change their votes to support Hillary, which that's not going to happen. But they were really just hoping for that. And now from what I've been reading on here, it looks like a lot of them are just anarchists. We can't believe that Donald Trump won. Well, believe it, because he did. And see, the thing that I really want to stress here is that they're saying, well, the big problem that we really have here is the Electoral College. If Hillary would have won by the Electoral College, you and I know very well that the liberals would not be complaining whatsoever. They'd be saying, well, she won, get over it. Just like they did with Obama. He won, get over it. Well, guess what? Trump won, get over it. But by the way, before we continue on with this, I want to give a quick shout out. A friend of mine is vacationing in the Myrtle Beach area this week. Marquise is a great conservative, good friend of mine. Just wanted to give him a quick shout out. I told him I would, so yeah, just did it. So there you go. There's your shout out, Marquise. But anyway, back to what we were talking about here. There's an article that caught my eye. I was in Politico, and it's titled, Obama Loyalists Plot Trump Resistance. Alumni of the Obama White House spent days mourning Trump's win. Now they're ready to fight. Yeah, right. Okay. Well, here's what the article says. President Barack Obama told his most loyal operatives that they have 10 days to get over their grief. And they are already ahead of schedule. Yeah. In the past week, Obama alumni have planned gatherings at Glascott Saloon in Chicago. Maybe it's a hairdresser. I don't know. But anyway, an old campaign haunt. The Winslow in New York. In Washington, they're meeting in hotel lobbies, 14th Street bars, nonprofit conference rooms, and living rooms, plotting the resistance over beer and hummus. Okay. So what are they doing? I guess they're getting drunk and saying, you know how we're going to fight this Trump administration. Budweiser loves it, I guarantee. The beer industry must be really benefiting from all this. It's a shame, but yeah, apparently that's what it sounds like according to this article anyway. One attendee called the meetings Obama Anonymous. And while they are largely started, just completely spontaneously, they've shifted to mobilization. It's an early sign that Obama can continue to command a formidable movement and potentially launch a serious defense of his legacy as a private citizen. Oh, happy, happy, joy, joy, happy, happy, joy. Election night felt like a nightmare I couldn't wake up from, said Liz Jaffe, a veteran of Obama's 2008 campaign and White House. I went from hating everybody to hating myself for not really realizing what is happening. So what are we getting to here? What are we getting to? I thought liberals don't hate anybody. I didn't think that liberals were the hateful ones. I thought it was the conservatives, right? That's what we've been told. That conservatives are hateful. The fact of the matter is that liberal hypocrisy is really just completely being revealed in this election, because what we are seeing clearly are liberals hating conservatives. That's what this is all about. It's a hatred for conservatism. They cannot deal with somebody who is not extremely liberal-minded in the White House. That's what Obama has done to this country. They want liberalism to be promoted. They want it to be fundamentally transformed, and that's what Obama has been doing for the past several years. His administration has been about destroying America and creating his own version. That's what it's completely about. And now their America is coming to a close. And they don't want that to happen. As a matter of fact, they despise it, they hate it, and they're going to do everything that they possibly can to prevent that from taking place. Now let's continue reading this here. So she went from hating everybody to hating herself for not realizing what is happening. Then Jaff had about 15 people over to her apartment in Columbia Heights on Sunday, and she started to feel better about Trump. The tipping point was when we started talking about how we could kick his derriere to clean it up a little bit, and that we could, Jeff said. You realize everybody wants to fight, and you suddenly get hundreds of messages coming in from volunteers you've worked with before. Oh, great. It wasn't supposed to be this way. There'd be a wave election to sweep away Trump's divisive rhetoric and Republican obstruction once and for all. Yeah. The people who have spent the last decade sweating it out for Obama, in many cases, most of their adult lives, could finally lead normal lives. I think it should have been live normal lives. His legacy safely in the hands of the first woman president instead, said former Obama spokesman Ben LaBolt. This is going to be a struggle over time and not just an easy handoff to a different team. So there you go. That's what we're getting here from the good old Politico. Obama himself acknowledged that the shock made the loss even harder to take during a call this week with Organizing for Action, his campaign apparatus turned grassroots mobilizing group. It is fine for everybody to feel stressed, sad, discouraged for a while, Obama said. But I'm giving you like a week and a half to get over it. By Thanksgiving, he added, you're going to have to be in a more positive place, if only to deal with arguments around the dinner table. Yeah, remember the good old dinner table to talk about Obamacare. Yeah, that's right. Thanksgiving's coming up. You guys still going to be prepared to defend Obamacare? You hear about what happened, what just happened? Well, I'll go ahead and read this for you. Then we'll get back to the Politico thing. But yeah, did you hear what just happened? We'll get into more detail in the next segment. But yeah, under Obamacare, Medicaid enrollment is 110% higher than projected. So yeah, there's a great defense. You better be working. If you're a liberal listening to this show, you had better be trying to figure out a way to defend that around the Thanksgiving dinner table. Because while, just a few years ago, you were encouraging your family members to get covered. Well, now, how's that going to work out for you? I'm sure that's going to be just a fine and dandy little Thanksgiving dinner meal. Okay, well, anyway, back to what we were talking about. It says, not going to lie, I want to get out of politics. Andy Orr wrote on Facebook Monday. So anyway, it says that everybody's gearing up a lot more than that. In many cases, they're seriously reconsidering their life plans. Andy Orr wants to get out of politics. Guess Andy worked on both Obama campaigns and in the administration before landing at the Glover Park Group, a Washington-based strategy firm. I thought an HRC victory would allow me the peace of mind to ride off into the sunset. Y'all! And focus on a more personal, family-focused future. Earlier than that, Andy wrote, his wife had brought home 2 copies of the Constitution, and it hit him. The last 7 days imposed a seismic shift in what my life looks like over the next 4 years. Oh my. That means keeping up the busy pace, Orr said in an interview, juggling a new round of activism with his day job. The talks are all early, but a few broad themes have emerged. One is protecting the people most targeted by Trump's policies and rhetorics. How to block a deportation force, for example. Now, actually, what they are going to have to work to protect is liberalism, because, guys, it's so deranged. I mean, if you cannot see how deranged liberals are by the results of this election, then you're not awake. because they are literally panicking. They are running through the streets. They don't know how to handle it. They are in complete chaos, and they cannot deal with Donald Trump becoming president. I mean, all you have to look are these people. I mean, for crying out loud, guys, we thought that social justice warriors were complete whack jobs. These people are insane. They literally don't know how to handle it. I mean, just to give you an example of what we have going on here, I think this happened in New York, but it was taking the internet by storm. This woman defecated on a picture of Donald Trump and then rubbed her hand in it all over that picture. And it's on video. And then you have people, of course, yeah. Well, that's just what we're dealing with here. We are dealing with a bunch of mentally insane nutcases that should be institutionalized, to be completely honest with you. They're insane. They would have been institutionalized several years ago. As a matter of fact, there's this one viral video. I shared it on my Facebook page, as a matter of fact. But what they decided to do is that they took this old film on deranged kids, insane kids, and it was a documentary that was released. I forget what year, but it was an older type of documentary film. I mean, you had the old guy with the professional like documentary voice and talking about all these different mental disorders in children, and they put that to social justice warriors, which basically are liberals fighting for insanity, and it just matched up perfectly. And it was funny, but it was also extremely disappointing. It was unfortunate, I'll put it that way. Or I could say scary, but it's really just disturbing. There you go. That's the word I was looking for. It's very disturbing. Because you watch that thing, and they're talking about like people with schizophrenia. They're talking about people that are just not all mentally there. And then you watch these videos of different liberals just completely going ballistic over stupid stuff. And you're wondering, why should these people have any credibility whatsoever? But they make up a fairly decent fraction of my generation. You have complete nuts like this, insane people that are becoming politically active. And they clearly have mental health problems. But if you say that, then you're not being PC. You're being offensive. You're being hateful. But they are. They are insane. All you have to do is just watch these people. And guys, I'm sorry, but irrational people like this should not be given any credibility. However, I can't tell you how many of these people have worked their way into the media. There are a lot of people in the media that are not mentally there. They are so mentally inept that they should not be given any public recognition whatsoever. But they're the ones at the top. And they're the ones that control public perception with regards to media. And that's who we're getting our information from. People who are complete, insane lunatics. A lot of the people that are on CNN, they're not mentally there. I'm going to tell you that right now. When you cannot rationalize basic stuff, you have some serious problems. HLN, you should, okay, I can go back to, for example, Dr. Drew, okay? Dr. Drew had Ben Shapiro on, really great guy. Ben Shapiro was on Dr. Drew, and he was with this other guy that was Zoe Tur, man transitioned into a woman, was originally born a man and identifies as a female. Well, anyway, she, he, whatever you want to go by, he works for, I think it's NBC. Well, anyway, he is the father of, it'd be funny if you'd say she is the father, but yeah, that's the type of world we're living in. But anyway, he's the father of Kate Tur, who works for MSNBC. On HLN, what ended up happening was that Zoe Tur threatened Ben Shapiro and said that he was going to send him off in an ambulance just over a debate. That's what type of insane maniacs some of these people are.
Fighting liberalism one lie at a time. You're listening to Caiden Cowger on the WCNR News Network.
Caiden Cowger. Somebody had to say it.
Go get your copy of Prelude to World War III, The Rise of Islamic Republic and the Rebirth of America. World War III Series Volume 1, available in paperback and Kindle edition on Amazon by the authors James Rozone and Miranda Watson. By the 2020s, America was no longer a world superpower. The military had been cut to a bare-bones level, and while the U.S. was focused internally, the door opened for new powers to emerge on the world stage. In the wake of this power vacuum, China and Russia began to flex their military muscles and expand their dominance in the world. In these hazardous times, America was in need of a hero. Henry Stein, a new kind of leader, built a new political party that is neither Republican nor Democrat to lead the charge to bring the country back from the brink. Would President Stein be able to prevent a third world war? Read more about this book and get your copy today. Available on Amazon in Kindle and paperback. That's Prelude to World War III. Your copy's waiting for you.
Goldman Sachs and HSBC recently purchased 7.1 tons of physical gold. What do these bankers and mega money managers know that you don't? They're expecting the value of gold and silver to increase. That's why you need our friends at Capital Gold Group. Capital Gold Group offers gold and silver for direct delivery and will not be undersold. Call now. Call 1-800-932-4108. That is 1-800-932-4108.
Is debt beating you down? You need discipline. You need the Debt Ninja. If you've been caught in a financial trap and need to be set free, then you need the Debt Ninja. Want to stop those harassing collection calls, start saving thousands in interest and fees, and get out of debt fast? Then you need to call the Debt Ninja. The Debt Ninja will find the best companies across the country that will help you consolidate all your bills into one easy payment, reduce your payments by 30 to 50%, and get you out of debt fast. If you have unsecured debt of $10,000 or more, such as credit cards, loans, or medical bills, call the Debt Ninja for a free 15-minute consultation.
Call 800-826-1132. 800-826-1132. That's 800-826-1132. Call today.
The Debt Ninja.
All right, guys, let me tell you about our friends at Capital Gold Group. Capital Gold Group is a company that deals with investing in precious metals such as gold and silver. They've been in business for over a decade and have an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. They've been featured on Fox News, Market Watch, Bloomberg, Wall Street Journal, CNBC, Reuters, Fox Business, Financial Times, and Forbes magazine. If you're interested, you can call at 1-800-932-4108. That is 1-800-932-4108. They also offer various ebooks on investing in gold, such as the Definitive Gold Guide. So once again, if you're interested, you can call 1-800-932-4108. That's 1-800-932-4108. All right, guys, let me tell you about our friends at the Debt Ninja. The Debt Ninja is a company that specializes in slashing debt. They deal with various debt problems such as tax debt, debt settlement, debt consolidation, student loan debt, credit repair services, and bankruptcy. That is 1-800-826-1132. Now, their company, the Debt Ninja, operates on a national level and have worked to fight the IRS for many of their clients. If you're interested, you can call at 1-800-826-1132. That is 1-800-826-1132. Once again, that is 1-800-826-1132. Due to a decline in the economy and major car companies filing for bankruptcy, American Auto Protection has announced an extended service plan that is now available to the general public. This plan reduces the cost of auto repair expenses. Maximum Car Care was created to assist qualifying car owners with lowering repair bills of cars under 130,000 miles and under 12 years old. Maximum Car Care works to limit the expense of auto repair bills, roadside assistance, rental coverage, and towing. Their number is 1-800-824-9762. That is 1-800-824-9762. Once again, that is 1-800-824-9762. Maximum Car Care is a proud sponsor of the Caiden Cowger program.
You're listening to the WCNR News Network.
Caiden Cowger. Somebody had to say it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Caiden Cowger program. Great to have you with us. So we were talking about in the last segment that article out of Politico. And what was it that they said about Obama? That he was talking to Organizing for Action. And Organizing for Action was the quote-unquote grassroots apparatus for getting Obama reelected, right? And also for getting him elected in the first place. So anyway, Obama was talking to Organizing for Action, stating that it's all right for everybody to feel stressed. It's all right for everybody to feel sad. It's all right for everybody to feel discouraged for a while, but I'm giving you a week. So what does that mean? I'm giving you a week. Well, we keep reading this entire thing on here, and we get down to where this, some of these people, it's insane. Listen, this is the end of the article. I'm just going to read it for you as it is. I'm not even going to try to explain it. Obama is still a powerful force for the generation that grew up working for him. Listen to this quote. He is our Jesus Christ. That's seriously what's in this article. He is our Jesus Christ. We're crazy, said Jeff. This is the guy that worked for President Obama and in his campaign and administration. Not without self-awareness. It's 10 years later and we're still obsessed. For some reason, it's been hard to tolerate Obama's measured tone about Trump when they see so much that's at stake. I've got all kinds of thoughts and ideas about it, but it isn't the best time to share them, Obama said. Point is, I'm still fired up and I'm still ready to go. So what do you get out of this entire thing? What do you get out of all this? Because it says here, Jeff gets why Obama is staying calm. I guess Jeff is a she. But she's looking forward to January 20th when, I guess, quote unquote, I'm even more excited to see the president unleashed. So anyway, this is Jeff. I guess she. It's a she. Hard to tell with liberals nowadays. But anyway, so what this sounds like to me is that President Obama is going to carry on in the footsteps of George H.W. Bush, refraining from criticizing his successor. And a matter of fact, we have an audio bit here for you, and this is out of Real Clear Politics. Originally, it's from Fox News. I want you to go ahead and listen to this. But Obama, well, actually, do we have the? I don't think we have the audio clip here. But it says that apparently Obama said that he will criticize. Yeah, we do have the audio bit. Okay, I'll go ahead and play the audio bit here for you. Obama said that he will criticize his successor if he believes it is necessary. Go ahead and hear this. This is President Obama. If it'll play. Is it going to play? I don't know if it's going to play. Well, apparently it's not going to play, so we're not going to play it for you. Okay, well, whatever that is. But yeah, President Obama saying that he is not going to criticize his successor unless he believes that it is necessary. Well, what do you think that means? More than likely, Obama is going to be criticizing Donald Trump, and this is just a big effort that he's going to be leading. All right, so go ahead and listen to this. This is President Obama at a press conference in Lima, Peru, and Obama is asked the question, are you going to continue as what Bush did and not criticize President Trump? Go ahead.
Rich Edson.
Good evening, and thank you, Mr. President. Earlier this year, former President George W. Bush reportedly said that he warned he would be the last Republican president. Now Republicans have won the White House, control the House and Senate, 2/3 of state legislatures, 34 governorships, and there are charges of a shallow Democratic bench behind you. Are you worried you could be the last Democratic president for a while? And secondly, sir, speaking of your predecessor, he made sure to offer essentially no public criticism of you during your time in office. Will you equally withhold public criticism for President Trump, even if he attempts to dismantle much of what you've accomplished? Thank you.
Well, no, I'm not worried about being the last Democratic president. I think, or not even for a while. And I say that not being cute. The Democratic nominee won the popular vote, and obviously this is an extremely competitive race, and I would expect that future races will be competitive as well. I certainly think it's true that politics in America right now are a little up for grabs. That some of the old alignments within both parties, Democrat and Republican, are being reshaped. And although the results of this election, involved some of the specifics of the candidates and aren't going to be duplicated in every subsequent election, Democrats do have to do some thinking about how do we make sure that the message we have is received effectively and results in winning elections.
Now hold it right there for a second, because what's the Democratic Party doing? All that they have done under Obama has been to promote liberalism. That's it. They don't care about resonating with the American people. President Obama's goal was to fundamentally transform the United States of America. And for the past 8 years, that is exactly what he has been doing. So I guess the Democratic Party is going to have to go back and start looking at everything. Well, yeah, you better believe it, because what's happening is that they're getting away from Americanism and they're creating this progressive utopia. And what you saw in this last election is a rejection of liberalism. It's a rejection of the Democratic Party. It's happened before. It happened after Woodrow Wilson. Woodrow Wilson was president. That came to the end of the progressive era. Warren Harding was elected based upon a return to normality. And you had the same thing that happened to Ronald Reagan. Ronald Reagan was elected based upon making America great again from Jimmy Carter. And now we have Obama. Trump wins upon making America great again, returning to normality. Why? Because liberals end up messing up the country. And the American people eventually catch wind of it and vote them out. So anyway, keep playing it, though. We're not done.
This is something that I've been wrestling with throughout my presidency. When you look at the proposals I put forward, they garner majority support.
Oh, well, really?
The majority believes in raising the minimum wage. The majority believes in common sense gun safety rules. The majority believes in investing to rebuild infrastructure and create jobs. The majority believes in making sure that people aren't going bankrupt when they get sick. The majority agrees with all the individual components of Obamacare.
Right.
I think there was a Gallup poll this week, subsequent to the election, that showed that the general public has a more favorable view of Democrats than Republicans.
Yeah, and you know what? The polls also showed that Hillary was going to win the White House. I mean, Huffington Post had her at 98.something% chance of winning the White House. So the polls really don't matter all that much, do they? Because they're just turning to the same polls, the same pollsters that said that Hillary was going to win. So how do we know that these other polls are accurate? The Democrats are solely relying on the polls, and the polls aren't even showing how the American people actually feel. Polls had Hillary winning. She lost. So why are we to believe that the polls are accurate regarding all of these other various projects that the Democratic Party has embraced? We can't trust them.
And as I noted, my approval ratings are quite high, and yet...
Oh, yeah. His approval ratings are quite high. That's why Donald Trump won, right? Yeah, because Obama has done such an absolutely phenomenal job at being president. That's the first that I've heard that one. Okay, I guess hey, George Bush, his approval ratings were really high. Yeah, that's why Obama won, right? Yeah, got it. This guy lives in a complete delusional world that solely revolves around him, and he's at the center of the universe.
Some say he's the next Rush Limbaugh.
I tell you, this kid's got 90% of Russia's venom with only 10% of the biomass.
You're listening to Caiden Cowger on the WCNR News Network.
Caiden Cowger. Somebody had to say it.
Goldman Sachs and HSBC recently purchased 7.1 tons of physical gold. What do these bankers and mega money managers know that you don't? They're expecting the value of gold and silver to increase. That's why you need our friends at Capital Gold Group. Capital Gold Group offers gold and silver for direct delivery and will not be undersold. Call now. Call 1-800-932-4108. That is 1-800-932-4108.
Is debt beating you down? You need discipline. You need the Debt Ninja. If you've been caught in a financial trap and need to be set free, then you need the Debt Ninja. Want to stop those harassing collection calls, start saving thousands in interest and fees, and get out of debt fast? Then you need to call the Debt Ninja. The Debt Ninja will find the best companies across the country that will help you consolidate all your bills into one easy payment, reduce your payments by 30 to 50%, and get you out of debt fast. If you have unsecured debt of $10,000 or more, such as credit cards, loans, or medical bills, call the Debt Ninja for a free 15-minute consultation.
Call 800-826-1132. 800-826-1132. That's 800-826-1132. Call today.
The Debt Ninja.
In these uncertain economic times, you've got to do whatever you can to save money. One of our biggest expenses can be our cars, especially when unexpected repair bills hit. Not anymore. If you own a vehicle with less than 130,000 miles, is less than 12 years old, has a warranty about to expire, or even no warranty at all, you could stop paying for car repairs. Roadside assistance, towing, and rental coverage are all included. Don't wait for the next repair. Make one free call right now to see if you qualify. If your vehicle is less than 12 years old, has less than 130,000 miles, even if it's out of warranty, paying for car repairs can become a thing of the past. Call us right now and get your car protected before your next repair bill hits. Get protection and no more repair bills. Call 800-824-9762. Again, 800-824-9762. That's 800-824-9762. 800-824-9762.
All right, guys, let me tell you about our friends at Capital Gold Group. Capital Gold Group is a company that deals with investing in precious metals such as gold and silver. They've been in business for over a decade and have an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. They've been featured on Fox News, Market Watch, Bloomberg, Wall Street Journal, CNBC, Reuters, Fox Business, Financial Times, and Forbes magazine. If you're interested, you can call at 1-800-932-4108. That is 1-800-932-4108. They also offer various ebooks on investing in gold, such as the Definitive Gold Guide. So once again, if you're interested, you can call 1-800-932-4108. That's 1-800-932-4108. All right, guys, let me tell you about our friends at the Debt Ninja. The Debt Ninja is a company that specializes in slashing debt. They deal with various debt problems such as tax debt, debt settlement, debt consolidation, student loan debt, credit repair services, and bankruptcy. That is 1-800-826-1132. Now, their company, the Debt Ninja, operates on a national level and have worked to fight the IRS for many of their clients. If you're interested, you can call at 1-800-826-1132. That is 1-800-826-1132. Once again, that is 1-800-826-1132. Due to a decline in the economy and major car companies filing for bankruptcy, American Auto Protection has announced an extended service plan that is now available to the general public. This plan reduces the cost of auto repair expenses. Maximum Car Care was created to assist qualifying car owners with lowering repair bills of cars under 130,000 miles and under 12 years old. Maximum Car Care works to limit the expense of auto repair bills, roadside assistance, rental coverage, and towing. Their number is 1-800-824-9762. That is 1-800-824-9762. Once again, that is 1-800-824-9762. Maximum Car Care is a proud sponsor of the Caiden Cowger program.
You're listening to the WCNR News Network, where America comes to talk.
Caiden Cowger. Somebody had to say it.
So in the last segment, we were talking about Obama and about how he is going to intervene, if necessary, to criticize Donald Trump. And he was saying the Democrats need to do some thinking after the most recent election, but that his approval ratings are still high, that on all the platforms that he's supported, the Democratic Party, and he has supported, the majority of the American public still embraces. But what's he quoting? He's quoting organizations that said that Hillary Clinton was going to win in their little polls. So if they weren't accurate with the polls regarding who's winning the presidency, how can we trust that they're accurate with how America really feels on these various issues? You can't trust it. But anyway, let's get back to what Barack Hussein Obama was talking about.
Voter bunched up in big cities, and a lot of Republican voters are spread out across geography. In my midterm election in 2010, people couldn't yet see the recovery, and not surprisingly, the president's party got punished.
Still can't see it.
We lost control of a lot of not just congressional seats, but also gubernatorial seats and state legislative seats. And that happened to be the year that the census is done and you start doing redistricting. And those Republicans took advantage of political gerrymandering to lock in majorities, even though in numerous subsequent elections, Democrats have actually cast more votes, or more votes have been cast for Democratic congressional candidates than Republican, and yet you end up having large Republican majorities. So there are just some structural problems that we have to deal with. But look, you can't make excuses about the rules. That's the deal, and we got to do better. And I think doing better, as I said, involves us working at the grassroots, not ceding territory, going out into areas where right now we may not stand a chance of actually winning, but we're building up a cadre of young talent, we're making arguments, we're persuading, we're talking about the things that matter to ordinary people day to day and trying to avoid some of the constant distractions that fill up people's Twitter accounts. And if we do that, then I'm confident that we'll be back on track. I don't think that there has to be a complete overhaul here. I think that there does have to be better organization, a smarter message. And one message I do have for Democrats is that a strategy that's just micro-targeting particular discrete groups in a Democratic election sometimes will win you elections, but it's not going to win you the broad mandate that you need. And ultimately, the more we can talk about what we have in common as a nation and speak to a broad set of values, a vision that speaks to everybody and not just one group at a time, the better off we're going to be. I think that's part of the reason why I was able to get elected twice, is that I always tried to make sure that not only in proposals but also in message that I was speaking to everybody. You had a second part to your question? Look, I've said before, President Bush could not have been more gracious to me when I came in. And, my intention is to certainly, for the next 2 months, just finish my job. And then after that, to take Michelle on vacation, get some rest, spend time with my girls, and do some writing, do some thinking. So I want to be respectful of the office and give the president-elect an opportunity to put forward his platform and his arguments without somebody popping off in every instance. As an American citizen who cares deeply about our country, if there are issues that have less to do with the specifics of some legislative proposal or battle, but go to core questions about our values and our ideals, and if I think that it's necessary or helpful for me to defend those ideals, then I'll examine it when it comes.
There you go. There you get. Okay. What did he just say? What did Obama just say? Obama just said that if he deems it necessary, if he believes that criticizing Donald Trump is necessary at that particular time, he is going to intervene. He is going to start talking about it. He's going to start criticizing Donald Trump if it violates our values. First time I ever heard liberals having values, but yeah, apparently values. Donald Trump, if he violates our values, then you better believe I'm going to speak up. I'm going to speak up. I'm going to say something. I'm going to do that as an American citizen. Not going to carry on as George Bush did, just stay quiet and let the president do his job. No. Obama is going to intervene. He is going to talk about it. He's going to criticize Donald Trump. So we learn what this is all really about. It's all about promoting liberalism. And that's why liberals are going into this complete hysterical mode. It's because their liberal utopia that Obama has built is crumbling before their very eyes. And a matter of fact, we have this other video here. This is from Free Beacon, Washington Free Beacon. It's originally on CNN. And you have this congressional or member of Congress, Democratic member of Congress, said that the DNC was sent a very clear message over the last election. So, I mean, and he's right. The DNC was sent a very clear message. It was a complete and entire rejection of liberalism. Liberalism lost on November the 8th. The American people voted that they were tired of it, they were fed up with it, they didn't want a liberal government anymore. Why? Because it's been absolutely destroying this country. I mean, for crying out loud, we didn't riot when Obama won, now did we? Did we like to see Obama in the White House? No. Did we riot over it? Absolutely not. Now, the Tea Party was active. The Tea Party protested. What was the Tea Party called? The Tea Party was called a bunch of angry mobs. That's all that they are, just an angry mob. Now we have an actual angry mob that is trying to undermine the election process. And all of a sudden they get a free pass. They are just concerned Americans. While the Tea Party, a peaceful group of protesters, held protests around the country, they were called an angry mob. It really does show you the hypocrisy in the mainstream media, doesn't it? And one of the things that I really wanted to point out, this congressman talked a little bit about it, but Obama really focused on, was why did we lose? Why did we lose this election? Obama was saying that the reason why the Democrats lost is because of the message. We have to get the message right. She was just defending the Obama administration, Obama's policies. Remember what Biden said? Criticized Hillary? She should be, defending the president's policies. Well, then she started doing that, and she started losing. And he can say, well, the majority of the American public agrees with many of the principles in Obamacare. Well, guess what? If you're going to say that the majority of America agrees with Obamacare, then why were senators winning based upon rejecting Obamacare? And here's the thing, guys, Trump's numbers started going up in the polls when he started criticizing Obamacare. So no, I don't believe that the majority of the American public agrees with Obamacare. I believe that it's coming from the same organizations that have butchered the polls in the presidential elections, and they butchered it on these various issues.
Caiden Cowger. Keeping America straight.
You're listening to Caiden Cowger on the WCNR News Network.
Caiden Cowger. Somebody had to say it.
If you've ever been looking for a way to invest your money, gold can be a very good investment. Let me tell you about our friends at Capital Gold Group. Capital Gold Group is one of the best companies in the business dealing with gold and other precious metals. They have an A-plus rating with the Better Business Bureau and can offer spectacular information on investing in gold. All you have to do is call 1-800-932-4108, and they will give you the knowledge that you need to make an investment. Even if you've just been curious about purchasing gold, this is a great group that can provide you with reliable information. Call 1-800-932-4108 and also ask them about some of their ebooks, such as 10 Shocking Reasons Why You Should Buy Gold and the Definitive Gold Guide. These resources are great for anyone, especially those that are just curious about investing. Call 1-800-932-4108. And some of their products that they offer are quite amazing. I mean, they have the gold bars, they have the gold coins, but they also have this thing called a Valcambi bar. And this is basically just a little bar about the size of a credit card that can fit into your wallet, made up of little grams of gold. So anytime that you just want a gram of gold, you just break one of them off. It's really quite neat. So by all means, contact our friends at Capital Gold Group. Call 1-800-932-4108. That is 1-800-932-4108. Once again, that is 1-800-932-4108.
Is debt beating you down? You need discipline. You need the Debt Ninja. If you've been caught in a financial trap and need to be set free, then you need the Debt Ninja. Want to stop those harassing collection calls, start saving thousands in interest and fees, and get out of debt fast? Then you need to call the Debt Ninja. The Debt Ninja will find the best companies across the country that will help you consolidate all your bills into one easy payment, reduce your payments by 30 to 50%, and get you out of debt fast. If you have unsecured debt of $10,000 or more, such as credit cards, loans, or medical bills, call the Debt Ninja for a free 15-minute consultation.
Call 800-826-1132. 800-826-1132. That's 800-826-1132. Call today.
The Debt Ninja.
All right, guys, let me tell you about our friends at Capital Gold Group. Capital Gold Group is a company that deals with investing in precious metals such as gold and silver. They've been in business for over a decade and have an A-plus rating with the Better Business Bureau. They've been featured on Fox News, Market Watch, Bloomberg, Wall Street Journal, CNBC, Reuters, Fox Business, Financial Times, and Forbes magazine. If you're interested, you can call at 1-800-932-4108. That is 1-800-932-4108. They also offer various ebooks on investing in gold, such as the Definitive Gold Guide. So once again, if you're interested, you can call 1-800-932-4108. That's 1-800-932-4108. All right, guys, let me tell you about our friends at the Debt Ninja. The Debt Ninja is a company that specializes in slashing debt. They deal with various debt problems such as tax debt, debt settlement, debt consolidation, student loan debt, credit repair services, and bankruptcy. That is 1-800-826-1132. Now, their company, the Debt Ninja, operates on a national level and have worked to fight the IRS for many of their clients. If you're interested, you can call at 1-800-826-1132. That is 1-800-826-1132. Once again, that is 1-800-826-1132. Due to a decline in the economy and major car companies filing for bankruptcy, American Auto Protection has announced an extended service plan that is now available to the general public. This plan reduces the cost of auto repair expenses. Maximum Car Care was created to assist qualifying car owners with lowering repair bills of cars under 130,000 miles and under 12 years old. Maximum Car Care works to limit the expense of auto repair bills, roadside assistance, rental coverage, and towing. Their number is 1-800-824-9762. That is 1-800-824-9762. Once again, that is 1-800-824-9762. Maximum Car Care is a proud sponsor of the Caiden Cowger program.
You're listening to the WCNR News Network, where America comes to talk.
Caiden Cowger. Somebody had to say it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome back to the Caiden Cowger program, the most listened to teenage political show in the country. It is great to have you with us. So, have something else that I want to present here to you. Mitt Romney is being considered for the position of Secretary of State. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, because a lot of people have been asking me questions, Caiden, how do you feel about this? I'm going to go ahead and tell you, I don't think it's a good decision. I do not think that Mitt Romney should be anywhere close to the White House. And the reason why is because I personally think that by Mitt being in the White House, what will end up happening is that he will be working to undermine Donald Trump. Because, I mean, you heard what he said about Trump before. In the primaries, Mitt held a press conference. A press conference about Donald Trump. He wasn't even running for anything. Mitt wasn't running for the presidency, but no, held a press conference simply to attack Donald Trump and said he's a fraud. Well, Mitt, if he's a fraud, then why did you accept his endorsement in 2012? You like being endorsed by frauds? No. So Mitt was just trying to take out Donald Trump. Well, now all of a sudden, Mitt is being considered for Secretary of State, I mean. Why? Because what will end up happening is that if he would be placed in that position, you'll see him working, I think personally, to undermine Donald Trump in the White House. It would not be a good choice. I think that there is a clear selection of other candidates that would be just as good for that position, far better than Mitt Romney, quite frankly. But then another thing we have here, I was just going to tell you, I was going to get to this in one of the upcoming segments. Obamacare, as you know, has gone through an expansion. Medicaid enrollment is 110% higher than projected. Under the expansion of the Affordable Care Act, there are 11.5 million able-bodied adults who are enrolled in Medicaid, more than double what was originally projected, according to a report from the Foundation for Government Accountability. In April of 2015, the foundation began tracking the 24 states that expanded Medicaid. The states projected that only 5.5 million adults would enroll. Newly obtained data shows that these 24 states, out of these 24 states, shows at least 11.5 million able-bodied adults have now been enrolled in the Obamacare expansion, an overrun of 110% or more than double the projections. So guys, here's the thing. When you have all of these various statistics coming out showing that Obamacare is not working, it is failing, it's a complete mess, why in the world would we continue having it? And why in the world would research show, according to these polls that Obama keeps quoting, that really just are completely inaccurate if they exist at all, why would the American public want to keep a program that is causing their premiums to increase and isn't working properly? It's costing the American public more and more money. Why in the world would they support something like that? Why would Senate seats for the Democratic Party end up becoming completely just overrun by Republicans in these various elections when Republicans attack Obamacare? I'll tell you why. It's because the American public does not support Obamacare. They completely reject Obamacare. And the Democrats can keep telling themselves this little fable that the Republican Party is completely out of touch with the average Joe, that they are the party of the common man, that there is no problem whatsoever with them in the middle class. But the fact of the matter is that this election proved that they have a disconnect with the American public. And as I said before in the program, the last election was a complete rejection of liberalism. But anyway, guys, I want to thank you for listening to us. For more information on the Caiden Cowger program, go to CaidenCowgerProgram.com. And for the latest news exposing the left, go to CowgerNation.com. Thank you, God bless, and God save this nation.